How's everybody this morning? Well, it's great to be back home, and just wanted to visit with everyone. I know we've had a lot of requests. I know there's a lot of questions. I want to keep this as informal and as I can. First, let me say that it's indeed a big honor for me to have been selected by Speaker Pelosi to be one of the managers in the upcoming impeachment trial. With that comes, of course, a lot of responsibility, and I take my oath of office very seriously. I know that this is something that I didn't really plan to do, and quite frankly didn't even seek to do. I was asked by the Speaker to consider doing this, and of course, when asked to serve, I accepted. I will be carrying not only the weight of my oath, but also our democracy and the Constitution and upholding the rule of law. There's, to me, democracy is a gift that one generation passes on to the other. To me, as a lawyer, as a former judge, I take my oath very seriously. I think many of you have grown with me through the years and know that I've taken that oath of office many times. And when I say I do, it means I do. So I will do the best of my ability in this position together with a team. Remember, we're a team of 7. We're being led by Congressman Adam Schiff, who is the lead manager. And we will be making our case to the American people. And we want to make sure that it is a fair trial for the American people, and that we get to the truth, that we make sure that we can pass on that gift of democracy to the next generation. Because frankly, that's really who it's for. It's our job to protect the Constitution, to protect the rule of law, to protect our democracy, to ensure that our children can also live under a democracy. It's been said many times that, it's a republic, but we have to keep it. Our job now is to make sure that we can keep it and that we can all proudly stand when we salute the flag of the United States of America, that it is truth and justice for all. So with that, I just want to, answer any questions that you might have. I know we've gotten a lot of calls, so we thought it would be best to just kind of do this, and because I've got a full schedule this afternoon, and quite frankly, my preparations began this afternoon at 2 o'clock. So, Telemundo.
Para muchos este es un momento histórico, para quizás de felicidad, pero ustedes han dicho que es un momento histórico, pero también de solemnidad, o sea que todo el mundo no es cosa de celebración. ¿Cómo le puede decir usted a todas aquellas personas que piensan que este impeachment o este juicio es una pérdida de tiempo y dinero, y que no están de acuerdo, sobre todo las personas que están escuchándolo en estos momentos?
Mira, el juicio no es pérdida de tiempo y no es falso. Lo que tenemos que hacer es defender nuestra democracia, defender nuestras leyes y estar seguro que tenemos todo para pasar para nuestros niños. Porque si no tenemos la justicia para todos y no podemos demostrar que nadie está encima de la ley, entonces, ¿qué pueden pensar nuestros niños? Así tenemos que tener el ejemplo que cuando vemos un presidente que abusa su poder y que abusa los procesos del Congreso, que eso tiene que demostrar a los niños que también el presidente no está encima de la ley.
What's your response to the latest reports that Ken Starr and Alan Dershowitz were added to the president's defense team?
I really don't have a reaction to. I just seen a tweet. I can tell you that the team that the Speaker Pelosi has put together is a very, very strong team. We all represent the great diversity of our country, not only geographically, but in terms of talent, in terms of where we're from, what capabilities we have. So for us, we're ready. We had a very strong case that led to impeachment. And remember, impeachment is forever. It's done. The trial is about whether or not we remove the president. So we're looking forward to presenting our case to the American people, and once again to make sure that everyone knows that no one is above the law. Not this president, not the next president, or any future president. We cannot let this president go on unaccountable. We've got to make sure that he is held accountable just like anybody else.
Congresswoman, will you be able to persuade some of the senators? Obviously, there are more Republican senators that you have to convince. Will you be able to sway them over to the other side with your prosecutorial team?
Well, you know, the senators all took their oath of office, oath as jurors yesterday, and they took an oath that says they will be impartial jurors. I think if they are, that we will make a convincing case, because we have a strong case. You remember, you got to look at the facts. I mean, this president picked up the phone, called a foreign government, and asked for help, to put it bluntly, cheating in an election. We cannot stand for that. That is not what our country is all about. The elections are for us as Americans, for us to decide who governs our country, not for any other foreign government. If we do that, then it diminishes our vote, and it is not a government of the people by the people, because it's not us. Secondly, I think if you look at even his own admissions, he's basically already confessed. If you look at the GAO report, they've found that it was what he did was illegal and holding back the funds. I mean, there's so much there, So we'll let the jurors decide, but we're going to make our case, and I believe it's going to be a very strong case.
Has Speaker Pelosi conveyed to you why she selected you as impeachment manager?
Well, not really. We had a brief discussion, and I think they looked at my legal background, my judicial experience. They looked at a number of other factors. Again, for her, it was about putting a team that could make the strongest case to the American people.
Congresista, ¿qué nivel de confianza tiene la Cámara Baja en estos momentos después de que han mandado estos documentos que van a ser revisados por el Senado? ¿Qué confianza tienen de que esto pudiera salir favorable para ustedes?
Mira, ahorita todavía no cumplimos revisando todos los documentos, así es que ahorita no puedo decir nada de ese tema. What he asked was the most recent documents have been released, and I really am not going to comment on that. Our staff is committee. We're still reviewing all those documents. The managers will go over it and we'll decide what we need to do. So we will not be commenting on any documents. We will not be commenting on any process issues today.
So with the delay in getting the impeachment articles over to the Senate, do you think that helps or hurts the case, and how so?
Well, first of all, I wouldn't describe it as a delay. I've seen a lot of cases that, you get an indictment and you wait for a long time before you get your trial. And to be fair, there was probably, at least 5 to 10 days that were holidays that even had we transmitted them over, probably nothing would have happened. But I think what it's done is given some space, if you will, to the American people to better understand what is happening, because I think there's still some confusion, and I think it's also given some space for some of these other documents to come forward. So I think it's been good, and I think it's the right way to handle it to start the start of the year. So again, we're just looking forward to presenting our case to the American people.
There's some speculation that the trial may take place in closed session, out of the public eye at certain key moments. Is that your understanding? Do you understand that to be the case?
Again, I can't comment on procedures and process. Remember, the senators were sworn in just yesterday. They probably will not be voting on the Senate procedures till Tuesday morning. There might be some amendments, there may be some changes. We still don't know. Yeah,
Has
we'll
it
be
been
ready, but I'll be ready.
Has it been decided which aspect of the prosecution you will take in this case?
No, the editors will all meet. We'll all start preparing individually in our districts over the weekend. We will start very early next week, and be back Sunday noon. I suspect that sometime during our meetings that will be decided.
What does your preparation process look like over the next few days?
Well, for me, I'm going to kind of try to get into a quiet space, and I've got a lot of background materials to read, and a lot of, well, I'll just say documents, because I'm not at liberty to discuss many of them. A lot of them are covered by attorney-client privilege and other privileges that I can't fully discuss. But I'll start this afternoon around, probably about 2:30. We've blocked off the whole afternoon and tomorrow afternoon, and then I take an early flight Sunday morning to be there by noon.
Go ahead.
I'm going to be married to this process probably for 2 or 3 weeks.
So the information that's been coming out since the impeachment, some of it very recently, that seems to have even greater implications for the president's involvement in this. Is that something, apart from discussing legal strategy, as a representative, as someone who participated as a member of the House in the impeachment process, do you feel like this is information that really needs to be brought into the trial also?
Again, the managers will be discussing that over the weekend. I mean, there's no decision been made on that yet. Obviously, it's not part of the evidence. It's not part of the documents that were sent over from judiciary, because it became available afterwards. But I think some of it, if it's relevant, just like any witness that is relevant, we may seek to have it included. But it'll be up to the Senate to decide, and they will again be looking at their rules and finalizing that on Tuesday.
You mentioned that the senators took an oath to be impartial, but what do you think is the realistic outcome here, considering that at least 20 Republicans would have to flip in order to remove the president from office?
Well, as a judge, I learned many years ago that you never second-guess a jury. You just never do. I think just as we've seen so many things surface, even in the last week, I don't know that there's anything more else out there, but I'm not going to predict that there isn't. I think sometimes, you're concerned about what you know, but you have to worry even more about what you don't know. But no, I'm not going to try to second guess what may or may not happen. All I can tell you is that the team that Speaker Pelosi has put together will prepare, will be ready, and will present a very strong case to the American people.
In terms of your prior experience in the courtroom, how is what you're about to take on similar, and how is it different?
Well, I think this is, quite frankly, next to voting whether or not we should go to war. I think this is probably the impeachment and what we're embarking in is probably one of the second most important, consequential things that a member of Congress can do. For me, it's probably a highlight of my career to have been selected. And I think, being a judge for 11 years, you learn to listen, you learn to analyze, you learn to size up evidence, size up witnesses, and to be comfortable in a courtroom setting. So I think all those things will be very helpful.
Congresista, en español, ¿qué es lo que espera el público latino, hispano, de habla hispana con este impeachment? Si nos puede dar un análisis, ¿en qué momento se encuentra este proceso?
Bueno, pues es una obra muy histórico, pero también es triste, ¿no? Porque nunca pensaba yo y nunca pensamos nosotros que íbamos a estar en un día que íbamos a tener un juicio político en contra de un presidente, porque es una cosa muy tremenda, ¿no? Así es que para mí ya sé que es una gran responsabilidad, pero también sé que muchos latinos, mucha gente de habla español, están viendo que qué bueno que está ahí una persona latina en el grupo de fiscales. Así es que es una responsabilidad para mí muy grande. Pero ahí voy a estar por todos. Okay, is that it?
Great.